Who puts greater value on the coochie, men or women? Who puts greater value on the poom poom, on the coochie, men or women? The body part I'm talking about belongs to the opposite sex. I'm a male, so the opposite sex will be female. So we would assume that the owner of that body part would put greater value on it since it belongs to them. Okay? But my observations are otherwise. When men organize society, you know, presently and historically, when you look at when men organize, they structure society. They put rules and regulations, whether it's road rules or tax rules and everything else, rules on the women, rules on the men on conduct. You see that in some tribes, they would say, a man would say, in our tribe, if you want to marry our daughter, in other words, if you want access to this poom poom, yes, we know that the woman's more than that. That's not what we're saying. We talk about the valuing. If you want access to this, you have to give me 100 cows. In South Sudan, they do this. Okay, I'm African, I know. For you to have access to our daughter, who we have kept as a virgin, oftentimes the virginity was a requirement. You have to give us such and such cows. In China, it's called the bride price with gifts. Usually it's bride price plus a house or a car, monies, jewelry. So this is a society when it's structured by men that put such a great deal of value. If we're to quantify in terms of money, today's currency, whether it's dollars, it'd be a lot of money. Okay? In cow terms, cows are worth a lot of money. In fact, cows is like a sign of wealth. If you, the more cows you have, the more cattle, the more wealth you got. So if you have those, let's say the woman's been married off and you receive a lot of cattle, that's going to further you. So that access for that man to get access to that daughter has to give the family wealth. Same thing in China. Historically, there was always a dowry and everything else. But the prize was always protected. The family, especially the father, would pick the man. And oftentimes, there was some type of assurance that the woman was chaste, a virgin. So you can see that when men organize society, the valuing of the woman is greater. Not just the being, but let's just reduce it to that. Access to sex. If you want access to sex, you have to marry this woman. Okay, you want some sex? Okay, you have to marry her. So now, if to marry her, you have to give up a lot of your wealth to marry her. Now, when women are lied to or when they value their coochie, they will throw it out on OnlyFans. And I've seen some desperate women sign on the side of the road in some countries, in some cities, and they'll say, what do you got? Whatever you got, let's go. Which begs to say that men value women's coochie way more than women are willing to value themselves. The other thing is, some women are willing to get pregnant to a guy who has no wealth, nothing, zero money. He's just got some type of charm about him. So then that begs to differ. Like, how do women? I'm not a woman, obviously. How do women value their? They want to be valued. I'm not just a sex object, but they'll quickly take the clothes off for something like for really, really little bit of money. And one could argue that once you take your clothes off, seeing you naked, that's done, right? Because money I can gain again. Money does not let me lose my integrity. You go on OnlyFans, that picture is permanent now. You cannot undo that. Doing porn on OnlyFans or other the hookup culture where you going through dudes to dudes to dudes who do not respect you. So the society where men structured it, women were valued greater, and there was exchange of wealth from one family to another, and there's a protection on the woman. When you pay a whole lot for somebody, and when the family was responsible to make sure she didn't fool around, there was all this aura of greatness around the woman. Because the family saying, hey, we've kept her pure, she's a virgin. Trust and believe. And you're like, okay, if you did that, well, I'm gonna bring all my cows. You can have all my wealth. Not everything, but and then now when the man has that, he has a prized possession. He esteems her. And the family esteems what they receive from the man, and they follow through to build their own legacy as they go forward. And the man esteems that woman, something special, something to be treasured. You see. Now, of course, I'm not trying to say that a man married the coochie, but we know that men are driven by a great deal of sexual desire, lust, you know, eros, love. So part of the desire to marry is so that they can fulfill that sexual desire in a healthy way. So let's just deduce it for the sake of the argument that they were purchasing or they wanted access to the pum pum. So when men organize society, they put a greater price on it and they put rules around it. When women became in charge of their own bodies, they want to be happy to delete children. They want to be happy to sleep with whoever they want. They want to go with the top guy and then get with the garden boy. My body, my choice. I do whatever I want. I do what I feel. So who values the coochie more? Who puts a greater price on it? Because now women are feeling used and abused, right? There's a woman that got a train ran on her heart. Now that's just a public one. How many women are getting the train ran on them? By random guys carrying all that DNA. This is when they're in charge of themselves. When men structure society, I'm not saying it's perfect because we're born in sin, right? But when they structure society, they protect the girls and women and children. When somebody starts to make you believe that women are the problem, who want to give the dowry, who give half of their property, buy houses and cars, when somebody convinces you that's a problem, and then you put yourself out there, then you start getting run through. Like you're no longer desirable. You're not even getting paid for the thing that you're supposed to be prized. People getting smashed in the back of trees and in a club, public toilets. That's when the woman's in charge of the home sexuality. What am I saying? No, I'm just saying that there's two dualities here. There's one that values one greater than the other. And get the men are their oppressors. Trying to control me. Now, when men observe that, hey, that girl, I heard my brother, my man hit it in a club and everything else, and now she has a child, and now she wants to be valued. She wants to be seen in a pure and wholesome light. She wants to convince me that I need to see her in that light. She wants to gaslight me. Now, back in the day, even simps would put more value. Even if she did that, simps would value her. But now what's happened? Men are waking up. They say, hey, you've made yourself worth less. Worth a lot less. We used to be worth a lot more. Used to be worth cows, dowry, courtship. Used to be worth all of that. Now you've shown me that I don't need very much. If other people are doing this for free, why am I paying all of that? That means the value of that, according to you, really isn't much, is it? Because if Tony was a drug dealer that we don't like as a community, is hitting it, and I have gone through law school to become somebody, to pilot school to become somebody, and you cheating on me with him, and I'm supposed to have access to this thing at a premium. So why am I doing this again? Food for thought. Go ahead, hey, like, subscribe, and share. Get the word out. Let's get the word out. Let's give people the word out. All right. Peace, love, and blessings.